What's going on, LA Rams fans? It's your boy JP Football Fanatics back with you once again with another record prediction video. For this time, we are here to go ahead and analyze to you all the LA Rams for the 2023-24 NFL season. The Rams last year took a bit of a step back last year, and a lot of that was because of injuries to Matthew Stafford, to Andrew Whitworth retiring after the Super Bowl win, and you lost Cooper Kupp for the year. Aaron Donald was also missing for like a good portion of the end of the season, leaving you with, at that point, trading up to get Baker Mayfield and actually winning at least one or two games that kind of end your season on somewhat of a high and promising note. So, where do you guys think about the Rams this year? Do you think they're above? Do you think they're below 500? Do you think they're going to get themselves back on the right track as far as playoff appearances, possibly another Super Bowl run? Let me know in the comments down below. Before we get started, please be sure to drop a like on this video if you have not done so already. Also, be sure to also hit the subscribe button, which is going to be down below when you're looking at the name of JP Football Fanatics, and hit the notification bell too. When you hit that notification bell, you guys will be the first of all times to be able to tune into all the content that I have provided to you, whether if it's pre-recorded, whether if it's a live stream, vice versa, whatever the case may be. You guys will be the first ones to be notified about it. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and let's get started with the 2023-24 season for the LA Rams. So the schedule for the Rams. So my questions about the Rams this year is quite simple. One of them obviously is, are they going to stay healthy this year, which is a big question mark here. And another question is, as much as I love Matthew Stafford and I really want to see him continue to succeed in this league, but why did he decide to come back after an atrocious year, and why did he decide to come back after suffering yet another injury? I have a lot of concerns about his health. I have a lot of concerns about this offensive line. I have concerns about the weaponry that's around him besides Cooper Kupp, and I worry about the team as a whole. So I don't know if this team really, like, if they stay healthy, they have to make sure that Matthew Stafford is healthy at all times, as well as Cooper Kupp, because Cooper Kupp is also coming off of an ACL injury from last year, just like with Matthew Stafford's coming off of an injury as well. So, two of your best offensive players in this game, you got to make sure that they're staying healthy, but you also got to help them out too and make some big separations of Cooper Kupp too. You can't just keep relying on one particular player to do it all for you. So let's start to analyze a little bit about the schedule. Week 1, you play the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to be fighting for the NFC West division title this year. I'm actually going to be, you might be a little bit surprised by this, but I see you guys actually splitting with the Seahawks this year. I don't think you're going to beat them in week 1 because I think the Seahawks are going to come out hot this year and really make a big statement on this team and let everybody know that they're for real. So I don't think you guys are going to beat them in week 1 right out of the gates, but I think you guys can make the big statement later on in the season in week 11. As long as you're staying healthy. That's really the biggest thing, is if you stay healthy the whole year, you have to make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to succeed in this division. So I have you guys splitting with the Seahawks this year. I think they're very good this year. I think their offense is going to be very, very, very hard for you to stop, especially now that you have at least 3 wide receivers on this team who are monsters: Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, right there. Like, those are 3 solid receivers. You have an excellent run game too. You just picked up another running back in the draft as well. So, and a solid offensive line, and you picked up on some defensive players too, which I still have some questions about, but nonetheless, I think you guys are going to struggle against the Seahawks the first time though. I think they're going to be a pretty good team. Week 2, you play the 49ers. There's not really much discussions to really talk about, but I have the 49ers sweeping you guys this year. 49ers, Kyle Shanahan always owns you guys every single year. The wins continue to happen. They're overall a better team than you. So I have the 49ers sweeping you guys. Week 3 on Monday Night Football, you have your revenge game and you play the Bengals. I have the Bengals actually taking advantage of that and actually winning this game this year. The Bengals are a very good team. They're probably one of the top teams in the AFC, let alone the NFL. I think they're going to be a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. So I think they're going to be very hard to beat. I don't think you guys have enough juice to be able to keep up with them. So I'll have the Bengals win that one in Cincinnati. Week 4, you play the Colts. I think you guys actually have a pretty legitimate shot here in the first 4 weeks of the season. I think the Colts are a team that you should be able to beat. So I'll have you guys win that game and get your first win of the season against the Colts. The Colts will be decent enough to keep themselves in some games and maybe win some games where they shouldn't. But this particular game in particular, I feel like the Rams win this one because Sean McVay's offense, I think he's going to get himself going. I think Matthew Stafford can put up some good points too. And I think the defense as a whole too, Aaron Donald, and if Anthony Richardson starts in week, in this early part of the season too, and he has to face Aaron Donald, that's not going to be easy to play. So I'll have the Rams win that one. I'll give you guys that win there in week 4. Week 5, you play the Philadelphia Eagles. I have the Eagles winning that game unless things change and you guys start out really, really strong and you prove everybody wrong early in the season, which I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry, Rams fans, but I could see you guys winning it. But I have the Eagles winning it. They're coming off of a Super Bowl loss. They're going to be coming back hungry and vicious, and they're going to want to take it out on, a lot of different teams, every team that they play. So it's not going to be easy for you to beat the Eagles, even if you're in your home stadium, so to speak. So, which will probably be filled with a lot of Eagles fans. Sorry, but I'll have the Eagles win that game. Week 6, I have you guys splitting with the Cardinals. I talked about it earlier when I did my Cardinals prediction video. I'm going to have you guys splitting with the Cardinals this year. The Cardinals are going to win at least one game, I feel like, this year. I don't know if they're going to go 0-17. I don't think so. They should win at least one game, I feel like. And I think the Cardinals are one of those teams that could actually be like the Cardinals could beat the Rams. I really do think so. The Cardinals in recent years have had some success with playing the Rams, so that's kind of why I kind of lean towards that. So, we may not even see Kyler Murray in that later part of the season. So, that might play a big factor there. But if he does come back, that would probably be the reason why they get their lone win of the year. Week 7, you play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could see you guys beating the Steelers personally, but I'm going with the Steelers to win this game. They're coming out off of a bye week, so that's not going to be easy to go in there and, come back after playing the Cardinals and, beating a team that's the worst in the league and then playing probably one of the top defenses in the NFL in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I don't think that's going to really happen like that. I mean, come on, look at their defense. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, got some really good corners there too. It's going to be very hard for you to be able to beat Pittsburgh. I could see you beat them. I'm not going to lie. I definitely can see you beating them, but I think it's going to take a lot more for your offense to get yourself going, and you have to rely on Matthew Stafford to stay healthy. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Week 8, you play the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Cowboys beating you guys this year. The Cowboys are going to be a competitor in the NFC. There's no question about it. They're going to compete. They're going to win a lot of games this year. They could compete for a Super Bowl run this year. Their defense is just absolutely solid. They could be one of the top 3 best defenses in the league this year. So I have the Cowboys winning that. Week 9, you play the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. I have you guys losing to the Packers too, to be quite honest with you. The Packers are a team that's going to be trying to figure themselves out as well. They might get themselves ready and, getting themselves a little bit hot midway through the season. So I have the Packers beating you guys. I think the home field advantage is going to play a pivotal part in this. And you got to also think about too, Matt LaFleur in recent years has owned Sean McVay, one of the only few coaches in the NFL that actually can figure out McVay's scheme very well. So I'll have Jordan Love win in Green Bay in this game. And that would be a pretty nice win if the Packers do beat the Rams. I think that would be a pretty nice win for not only the Packers' sake, but for Jordan Love as well, too, because that won't be an easy game for him to play. Then we already talked about the bye week. We talked about the Seahawks. Have you beating the Seahawks in week 11, have you losing to the Cardinals. Then I have you guys playing the Browns in week 13. I could see this game. I could see this game being a win for you guys. I really can. But I'm giving it to the Browns. I feel like the Browns are, a team that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot. At least they're probably going to fight maybe for the 7th, maybe the 6th spot there. But I feel the Browns are going to be a lot for you to handle this year. I really do. Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb. I mean, you could stop the run game a little bit, But at the same time, too, you have some really tough plays there as well. That's going to be very hard for you to be able to, keep up with. And if Deshaun Watson plays up to the expectation of him being the quarterback that he once was before he left Houston, they can definitely win this game. But if the Browns come out very sluggish, very slow, and Deshaun Watson's throwing interceptions left and right to the other team, you can beat the Browns. Like, the Browns are a beatable team, but they're also a team that's going to be tough to beat, though, this year. Week 14, you play the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Ravens winning that game easily, hands down. I would say the Ravens are probably going to be one of the best teams in the NFL this year. I really do think that's going to be the case. So that's not really much of a matchup. Week 15, I have you guys playing. You guys are playing the Washington Commanders. I believe I have you guys beating the Commanders this year. The Commanders are a team that's their defense is solid, at least solid enough, especially defensive line. I think is going to be really good, honestly, on paper at least. But their biggest question mark is quarterback, and I think you can take advantage of that. I think your defense, whether if it's Sam Howell at this point or if it's Jacoby Brissett, like, you guys can take advantage of the quarterback play here, and that will really help out your team. So I have you guys beating the Commanders in Week 15. Week 16, same thing. I mean, the Saints are a beatable team. They're a team that you could potentially beat. I don't quite remember as far as who I picked to win this game, but it's a Thursday night football game. It's a tough game. It's a tough place to play. Tough team to play against. Tough defense. Everything about it is going to be very tough. Derek Carr, he's been used to playing in SoFi Stadium before. He's lost some games there, so maybe the Rams could go ahead and steal this win. Like, I can definitely see the Saints losing a couple of these games where they should win, and they match up evenly matched with. So I could probably see the Rams actually coming in and beating the Saints. I could see that being the case, or vice versa. Like, I could see the Saints coming in, and I could see them beating you guys too. Like, it's definitely an either way kind of game. Week 17, you play the New York Giants. I think I have you guys losing to the Giants this year in what some would say probably a slight upset. I have you guys losing to the Giants this year. You have to travel across the country. The Giants, coach under Brian Daboll, it's not going to be easy to do. Travel across the country, and then you got to match up well with, you got to try to match up with Darren Waller. You got to try to match up with Paris Campbell if they're both healthy at this point in the season. And you got to slow down Saquon Barkley too, which you normally do good against the run. So maybe that won't be so much of a problem for you. But Darren Waller, if healthy, could be some problems for you there. So I think the Giants win that one. And then we talked about Week 18. You lose to the 49ers. You get swept by them this year. So overall, I feel like you guys are going to be at least a 5-win team this year. You could potentially be a 6-win team or maybe a 7-win team. Like, maybe, for example, there are a couple wins here that I could see you getting. Like, for example, I could definitely see you guys going in and beating the Steelers. That could be like one game right there. So that's one game ahead. Or I could see you guys maybe beating the Packers too, and that makes you a 7-win team. Or, if all honesty, maybe you could even beat and upset the Giants. You could honestly upset and beat the Giants, and maybe you could be an 8-win team. Maybe that will be your ceiling, 8-9, 9-8. I don't know. I think that's too high, honestly, because I don't think this team is very good this year. So I think you guys are going to be right around 5-12, 6-11, maybe 7-10. But that's probably going to be pretty much it. What do you guys think about the Rams this year? Where do you think they end up being? Let me know in the comments down below. It's your boy JP Football Fanatic saying thanks, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.